That. Okay. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom, and welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Boss Shot Shells. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world-famous Andy Shaver.
Tell you what, those boss, the stingers that they've been sending us do a number on dove. It does not help you shoot any better, but at least I'm not having to go find cripples. And on teal,
No, they're smoking them. I'm
be
telling you.
good. Be good to
complete
your
smoke
old
show.
dog, and get them the first time.
Make a lot of
Don't
pillows.
make them go swimming.
With us today from the stoner capital of the United States, this great state of Colorado,
Stoner baby.
our friend, Mr. AJ Patterson. How are you doing, AJ?
Good morning, guys. How are you?
So that's actually where I want to start, because we have this debate all the time with a fellow that works out here. What has the legalization of marijuana done to the state of Colorado other than make it a shit pot pile of money?
Realistically, I mean, it's made it to where the influx of people in Colorado since they legalized that stuff has been insane. They were kind of one of the first few states to do it. So I think there was just a surge of people that came here. Oh, we can smoke weed.
Mm-hmm.
And they just haven't left.
What are they? And I'm assuming that when you say a surge of people, you're not meaning pillars of the community that you would like to build a town around. You probably got people from a little scuzzy area that went over there just to smoke weed.
In all honesty, I think it brought in all walks of life. Because, I mean, there's people that are pillars of the community that are smoke weed. I mean,
sure.
That was their jam, and they could do it legally, so they came here. Funny story, when they legalized it for recreational use here, which I have no desire to do this stuff, but when they legalized it for recreational use, my wife and I were getting married that year. The people we were taking to the airport obviously had to go to the pot shop and figure out what this was all about. And we wound up with more pot after our wedding. Then I'm like, you guys are ridiculous. And they're in little tins and whatever. And I'm like, she's like, what are you going to do with it? I'm like, throw it in the trash. Shit, I don't want nothing to do with it.
So everybody flew in, got their pot, and then realized they couldn't fly home with it. So they're like, here, you've got, happy wedding. This is yours now.
Or drove. I mean, even the people that drove, they didn't want to take it across state lines because Wyoming, Utah, everywhere around us, it was still illegal.
So if you had to give this a grade, 5 being, whatever, would you see this as positive or negative for the state of Colorado?
For the state of Colorado, I would say it's probably an 8 on the positive scale. Because, I mean, it has brought jobs to Colorado. It's brought funding to Colorado. I mean, the pot money is supposed to go to the schools. I don't know that happens yet. But anyway, on the other side of it, it's made traffic a 2.
Just because there's so many people?
There's so many people. And I'm not going to say it's all because of marijuana. Right. But I've started to notice that since they've legalized it, there's more people here.
And what about, because, we've heard reports of there just being these zombie people and, that it's just this, just bums everywhere. Is that something that you've noticed, or is that kind of, noticed that? I mean, the stoners just out there living their best life.
Right. I mean, the homeless camps is what I'm going to call them, because, I mean, it's not just a tent here or there. It's an encampment, there's 10, 15, 20, 30 tents. And they'll do it in the most odd random places. It'll be on the side of the highway.
And is that more confined to the Denver area, or is that all over the state?
Metro, I mean, the Denver metro area is more confined. I think it's just availability of places to go. They have started to kind of branch out to some of the walking trails along the creeks and stuff like that. But I mean, for the most part, the Denver metro area is homeless central sometimes.
Right. I think that's
interesting, though.
Every big city is that way now.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got camps. I mean, we as a country have fucked something up in society really bad that you have homeless camps everywhere. I mean, there used to be a homeless shelter. Now they got fucking camps everywhere that's got thousands of people in some cities. You go to Abilene, Texas, they've got a place outside of town, I don't know, 50 to 100 acres, where they got a big encampment of just tents.
I've not heard this.
Yeah, if you go downtown, go out east.
I didn't know
They got an area that's they have shit happens there all the time. I don't know where it is in Wichita Falls. I'm sure they have one there.
Right.
But
in Austin,
the big cities are horrible. Fort Worth, they're when you get right outside of Sundance Square and you go back to the east, you don't go half a mile and you get under the train tracks or where the tracks are and all them bridges. It's solid deal. They've even come in now. These cities are pouring concrete that are at triangles underneath the bridges so people can't sleep down below them. Well, now they just put a fucking piece of plywood on top of them, and they got to now that if it rains, it don't get wet, it goes under them. So it worked out perfect for them. But we've got a serious problem, and I just don't think it's Denver. I think it's every big city. But I used to be anti-marijuana, and in the last 10 years, I'm getting where I'm not now. I mean, if it floats your boat, knock yourself out. I think exactly. I got that drilled into my head as a kid. Don't smoke dope, this is your egg or your brain on drugs and the eggs fried and shit, and just say no and all that other shit. And I bought into that.
You gotta love Nancy
Reagan. And so I never done drugs growing up. I was around a lot of shit. I've been to parties in college when kids were snorting coke, not off chicks' asses, but off of a table. These kids today have got this down better. But I was always against all that shit, but I didn't mind if you did it. Well, nowadays, I'm against all the other stuff, but if you want to, marijuana is a good medicine, and I think it should be used. But it's I see now where the government lied to us because of big pharma. But I know some people that have went to Colorado just to go on a pot vacation, and hey, if that's what they want to do, that's fine. I mean, but I know more than one person that has gone up there just for that reason alone.
Well, I go to New Mexico to go skiing. So,
Yes.
maybe skiing's not their jam. Maybe they just want to sit in a hotel room and, get stoned. I don't know.
I'm going
different.
I'm going in the Northeast next month to go see leaves. People are going to Colorado to burn leaves. So it's the same shit,
Yeah. I mean, I'm not that much younger than you are. I'm 41. And same thing with me, it was burned into our heads. Don't do drugs. I mean, some of us tried it, whatever. Figured out it wasn't for us,
and that's interesting that you claim yourself as you're this non-pot smoker, but you see the benefits of that. Hey, it's brought a lot of money and it's supposed to go to the schools, so you gave it an 8. So that's interesting to me because here as Texans, all we hear from one of the gentlemen that works out here is, it's just Colorado's a shithole and they did this and now it's bad. And I'm like, well, let's look at some of the numbers. Like there's a lot of new money that's in Colorado now that wasn't going to be there otherwise.
I think they've had a huge increase on DWIs and stuff, or driving under the influence.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of that shit goes on. I mean, it's going to be same as Las Vegas. If Las Vegas didn't have gambling, you wouldn't have the problems, but there wouldn't be no reason to be in Las Vegas either.
But
I mean,
arrests for marijuana are way down.
Well, yeah, that's no shit. I remember the first pot shop I ever went into. We was somewhere outside of Cape May, New Jersey. We may have been in Cape May, New Jersey, and I got gas, pulled into a Shell station. I got gas, and I had to piss, and I went running inside to piss, and I walking by the cabinets, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And it was a marijuana shop. It was a pot shop, and so I went in there and took a piss. I stopped and had to look at that shit. It was like $285 for Korean Kush and all kinds of names and shit, and I'm thinking, I am in the wrong fucking business. I'm telling you right now.
I'll tell you what. I mean, say what you will about the stoners or whatever, but they're some creative sons of bitches.
Yes, they are.
So, I mean, of course, pot shops started. You could go into them, whatever. So, I had to see what they were all about. So I went in one with one of my buddies because he smokes pot. fine. I'm like, yeah, I'll go with you. Just see what it is. The stuff that they have, you're like, what the hell? Where did you come up with this idea?
I bet.
It makes Cheech and Chong look like child's play.
When I was in high school, you'd see the kids that were potheads, and they all the same. They carried Visine in their pockets, and they'd come in with the red eyes and shit. And nobody was surprised what they did. And I was friends with a couple of them. I didn't hang out with them all the time per se, but I was friends with them. You know, I don't care what they did, no different than. But it was so funny that they're smoking pot, they're potheads. Well, then the same guys that we were saying that, we were drinking beer on weekends, doing the same shit, but we were getting ours out of a can.
Right.
And looking back now, most of those kids that were potheads, two of them are professors at college, so that doesn't really surprise me at all.
Right.
But they went on to have regular, normal lives. I mean, it's not like that they were fucking in the cartels in Colombia and stuff, but that was the mindset we had 30 years ago, that if you're doing drug and selling drugs, you're going to end up being a fuck up, or you're going to end up having a Mexican or a Colombian necktie, you know, and being hung from a bridge in Tijuana.
Now, I am not for children smoking pot, just like I'm not for children drinking beer and all that stuff, because there have been a lot of studies about extensive marijuana use on what it does to the still developing brain, and it's not good. But neither is a whole lot of alcohol either. So
I think a parent any parent who gives their kids, anybody under 18 years of age, if you've got a child living in your house and they're 18 or under, and you're letting them smoke dope or drink beer, you're not doing them a good job. You're not doing a good job as a parent. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you're listening. If you're listening to me and you let your fucking underage kid drink, or you're buying beer for them and letting their kids come over and drink beer at your house, you're a problem in our country, a big time problem.
110%.
And it happens all the time. Some kid leaves a house, and that mom's going to be, well, I'll keep their keys. That kid right there, somebody eventually going to get out. I can tell you multiple stories of kids have been killed in car accidents over shit like that. Don't let your kid drink and drive. My kids drank when they were in high school. I'm not fucking stupid, but it wasn't because we were letting them do it. Kids are going to be kids. But if you enable your kids and you let them smoke pot or drink beer in your house, you're a problem in our society. Let them get out and go to college and fuck up like everybody else did, but don't make it easy for them when they're under 18 years old. You're not doing society any favors by doing that shit.
Correct.
The thing that scares me is we're seeing a lot of fentanyl in our area, and a lot of young kids 12, 13, 14 years old are dying from it. And
it's nationwide.
That shit scares the hell out of me. And that is one of the reasons that I am for legalizing a lot of stuff, just because it would be regulated, we would know what's in it, and it wouldn't be spiked like some of the stuff that we're seeing now.
Now, does the FDA approve these pot? We have went to a full-blown drug podcast today.
10 minutes.
Does the FDA, do they approve marijuana use like in Colorado? Is that because it's not federally regulated? So I wonder if there's any kind of state regulations on what you're selling though.
I would imagine. Like I said, I don't really.
You're the expert now in the Colorado drug trade.
I'm not the expert. You're barking up the wrong tree, but I can give you the number of guys.
Marijuana Enforcement Division is tasked with licensing and regulating the medical and retail marijuana industry in Colorado. So there you go.
So it does have some regulations.
But what I would tell you is, had I known that it was going to grow the way that it grew, I would have put every penny that I had to buy a pot shop.
Yeah, let me tell you, the Big Honker Lodge will be the Big Honker Grow House if they would legalize it in Texas. We got a lot of
acres.
And I would have grow lights in every room. The matter of fact, Tony last year, our garden, Tony did all grow lights on our garden and started doing that stuff inside the building in like February and March. So as soon as the soil temperature, we could put it in the garden. Well, we didn't rain ever, so it ruined it. But I'm sure people walked here and thought, them boys right there in the pot business, I bet.
Out there in the middle of the country? Yeah. Nobody knows.
That's not oregano.
No.
But I don't have a problem at all with someone. I wish they would legalize it in Texas. Texas is missing the boat. Gambling and marijuana usage are two things the state of Texas should license. And they're crazy not to do it.
Give it to the kids, just like Colorado did.
We've got gambling here. I mean, there's a small gambling town up in the mountains.
Blackhawk? I've been there.
The funny thing is like, it's a tourist attraction. I mean, yeah, there's the regulars that go up there,
Yeah.
but it's a tourist
Can
attraction.
you play FanDuel there? Because Payne, who is in Washington State, he can't play FanDuel, but they have casinos in Washington State.
I think it's because they have sports betting there. And I think
You know, I don't know. You might be able to. I haven't been up there in 10
No, but I
years.
mean like FanDuel, like fantasy football on your phone. Because Payne, they won't let Payne in Washington State.
Oh, yeah,
they won't let
yeah.
him play FanDuel
Yeah,
on his
you
phone,
can.
but there's casinos in
Yeah.
Washington State.
I think they have sports betting there.
and,
is
that,
why.
and then that excludes FanDuel from
Washington State may say no, you can't do it. They want you to spend their money here and not there.
Oh.
I guess I don't know.
leave it to the government
But
to
no,
fuck it up.
You can bet on your phone here.
You can.
Yeah.
I wish you could. You can play FanDuel here, but we can't do the prop bets and stuff. I would like to do the prop bets.
Last year, Andy and Blake had this. Well, they
We
had
had a foolproof
They
plan.
had a
We were going to be
foolproof
millionaires.
plan. It was 100-1 was the bet. No, it might have been 1,000-1. I think it was 1,000-1.
It was something insane.
that Matt Stafford would have 3 touchdowns. So I told him, I said, well, I went in on this shit. I'll give you $1,000.
Money in the bank, baby.
What do you? I'll bet. I'll give you $1,000 right now, Blake. Blake looked up. Oh well, you only bet $50, and me and Andy already got 25 apiece on it. I was like, well, fuck y'all then. Sorry, somebody. Well, then Josh Moore, he's in Nebraska stuff. He goes, I can get one of them in Nebraska. So I said, do it, Josh. And I said, I'm gonna put $1,000 on it. He said, well, they only let us have 50. He said, I'll split one with you. I said, deal. I gave him $25. I said, put it on there. So we started looking at. We was reading the deal.
Matt Stafford gets his 3 touchdowns, and we're freaking out. We're like, we just made what's
25 grand a piece.
25 grand a piece, and like, fuck Jeff, I'm not coming in tomorrow. Like, I got my bread is buttered.
So I start looking at the deal. I'm like, you fuckers, it says running touchdowns, not fucking any touchdown. You have to run the ball. Well, that's why it was 1,000-1. Matt Stafford ain't ran for 3 touchdowns in 5 years. So we all lost $25 a piece.
The fine print got us there. The fine.
Thank God it wasn't 1,000.
No shit,
No
right?
shit. I would have
Holy
been some
cow.
kind of pissed.
But he did. He got his 3 touchdowns, and we were like, yes, finally, something goes our
Good
way.
stuff.
And then fine print. Got it.
I don't bet much just because I'm probably about the most unlucky son of a gun you'll ever meet in your life when it comes to that stuff. We've got scratch off tickets and stuff here. I think I probably won $50
Yeah.
in scratch off tickets where people win.
You know, we had a homeless guy here. He would all he would do is he would go to the trash cans. We have 2 convenience stores. He would go to each trash can a couple times a day, and he would get the scratch off tickets out of the trash can, and he would make sure that they were losers. And you know, a lot of times people, if it's 50 cents or $1, they'll just chunk it in the trash. They won't worry about it. But to a homeless guy, you know, that's you get enough of those, and you can buy a carton of cigarettes and a little bit of milk maybe. And how much
Right.
he found one that had it was like $1,000 winner or
I think it was
something like
$1,500. He had to pay taxes. So it was $1,500.
It pissed him off having to pay taxes.
Yeah.
Probably hadn't had to do that in 50 years since he became homeless.
I was at the house last year. Me and Michelle were in bed. It's like 9:00 at night. It's during hunting season, and we go to bed pretty early. And I was jacking around my phone. I got an email from the Texas Lottery Commission. You can play scratch off tickets on your phone. I'm a degenerate gambler. I thought, what the hell? I'll buy $100 worth and see what it is. So I filled it out. Sent them $100. They sent me this deal. So I thought, I'll play that, and that. So I bought these lottery tickets. They will be shipped to you tomorrow. I'm like, fuck, that ain't playing on my phone. You got to send them to me. So I forgot all about them. Well, about 3 days later, Michelle tells me, we get home late every night during hunting season. She goes, did you buy some lottery tickets over the phone or in the mail? I said, oh, I forgot about that. I said, did they come in? She goes, yeah. And she gives them to me. Well, it's in the dark, and I'm scratching them suckers off, and I won $550. That's the most I've ever won on a lottery ticket in my life. And I was like, hell yeah. Wow. And no, it was $750. And then the lady got pissed off at me at the convenience store because she had to cash it for me and give me the money back.
Because you didn't buy it there?
Yeah. Well, no, they didn't even know I didn't buy it. She just didn't want to do her fucking job and give me the money, but she had to give me the money, but was bitching about it. But that's the only time I've ever won on a scratch-off ticket. I watched a movie last night, and how this all pulls together, called The Gambler with James Caan that was made in 1971. And I'm going to tell you what, I can't imagine people gambling that kind of money in 1971. It's about a kid that's got a little bit of money, and he's a professor, and just the degenerate shit that goes on in that world and that lifestyle with bookies. It's crazy.
Did they redo that movie with Mark Wahlberg?
But did he have one called The Gambler?
Maybe so.
They have Kent. But I'm going to tell you what, they had Lauren Hutton on there. I don't know if you knew who she is.
Yeah, they redid
She was a
it.
fucking smoke show back then, though.
They redid it with Mark Wahlberg. I hadn't seen it, but they redid it.
The original one, James Caan, Lauren Hutton was in it. Boy, she's a good looking sumbitch back in the day. She was a 9.5. You know what a hooder is, AJ? A hooder's when you bang her on the hood of your car with your wife honking the horn, and that's how good looking she was back in the day. A pure hooder. So let's talk a little bit of waterfowl hunting. So you hunt the front range of Colorado.
Yeah, and I mean, we get out to the east a little bit, but probably 100 miles maximum to the east. So, I mean, we're from the front range foothills to 100 miles east of I-25.
So y'all have benefited from the lack of winter, I think, the last 3-4 years. Would you say that's pretty safe?
I agree.
Because y'all are sitting on a shitload of small geese now.
Small geese, yeah. I mean, it used to be the little geese would come. They'd be here for 4 or 5 weeks, and then the big geese would push them out. And then you shot toads the rest of the season, which was pretty awesome. Now, hell, I mean, it snows a little bit. The little geese fly into town, eat Cheetos with the rest of the local geese, and then the snow goes away and they fly back.
Yeah. I mean, of anybody that's benefited more, I would say it's definitely Colorado. But do y'all get any big geese from up north anymore? Or is it all just the locals that are around the towns?
No, we still get some big geese. Last 2, 3, 4 weeks of the season, we'll shoot probably 50% big
Really?
geese.
Now, what do the little geese ever move out, or they're always just there living their best life?
It depends on the year. I mean, we had little geese here all year last year. A lot of times they'll bounce around just to where the feed's at. But I mean, yeah, we had little geese around here all year last year.
Are you seeing, we've already got some specs here, not a lot, but we do have some specs here. And Andy's a witness to it. You saw it too, so you can't argue like you do every year about this. As early as I've seen some specs, probably. Did you, have y'all got specs up there yet?
We'll kill a few every year. We've killed, the last 2 years, we've killed 3, maybe 4 specs.
So you don't see them early coming through then, like right now?
So we'll see them early when season opens. And they used to have an early goose season, which that's when you'd see them. They took that away from us and then just combined it all as one. But you'll see them early, and then you'll see them right at the tail end of dark goose season.
Going back up
then.
Yeah.
Because we have them here, but ours are calendar geese, and we'll have, our next cold front probably will be about January 14th at the rate things are going, because we ain't getting no cold fronts, just that gradual. Somebody's like, well, it's cooling down. I said, well, yeah, the days are getting shorter. It's going to cool down. It's a gradual thing.
Fucking sun can't beam up on you.
There's no choice. There's no more sun.
We're running out of sun at a critical time of day.
It's absolutely fucking crazy how we have another September without no rain and no cold fronts. But anyways, we're going to start seeing more. We'll see more specs every day starting.
79 for a high next Thursday.
That day we'll probably have 5,000 specs to 10,000 birds will probably show up here, which is about normal.
But the low is only 61. Fuck, the low is 61 right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. But my thing is what really I love to see all the pictures the guys posting. You can see the mountains in the back. If you can see mountains and you got snow in the back, you're going to be shooting a lot of fucking greenheads too. So I'm assuming y'all kill a bunch of.
Yes and no.
That's a no.
Yes and
okay.
No. The duck population, and it has to do with the winters here. It seems like that sometimes the ducks aren't what they used to be in the 90s. That's for sure around here. And I know that's kind of countrywide. But Colorado used to be a really good duck state, as to where now you're going to run into pockets of ducks, and it can still be really good. We shoot ducks in the field on occasion. But I mean, most of our duck hunting is over water.
What do you think has led to that shift?
I really don't know. I mean, there's speculation they hold birds up north, whatever. I think there's a decline in number.
Right. What's like the primary food source there? Is it corn? Is it peas?
Corn and wheat.
Like winter wheat?
Yep.
The little geese love that. The two big crops out here, we get a lot of peanuts, and there's a big area north of where our lodge is. It's the wheat country. And back in the 90s, those little bastards, we'd have two pockets of birds. We would have peanut country birds, and then we would have wheat country birds. And they were just stupid in the wheat.
Sure. And the other thing they like here is the dirt, just straight
regular dirt.
They'll go into a plowed field when it's warm, and they're obviously picking something up there because they all got their heads down feeding.
Now in Alamosa, there's potato fields that they eat at.
Oh, you're not supposed to talk about that word no more.
I don't care.
Correct.
That's all right. It's a secret's out.
I mean, there's geese all over Colorado, so I can imagine they're in Alamosa.
Oh yeah, Andy wore him out up there, and he told everybody about it 3 years ago on the podcast. And a guy calls me and he said, "Would you please tell him to never speak Alamosa's word ever again?"
But they're in potato fields, and I've never seen a goose in a potato field. But it's those big birds, and then they take these little tiny potatoes that are like a rock, and they somehow do something with them. I don't know.
Are they like fingerling potatoes, or are they like new potatoes? Because it's not like a freaking an Idaho fucking baked potato.
Well, no, I think if I remember correctly, when they harvest potatoes, I guess you can set your gauge on how if it catches the potato or if it just falls through. So those little bitty potatoes that are like a pebble, they just get left behind, and that's what they eat.
Yeah.
So that was.
But no, I mean it's. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they're geese. They're going to do what they want to do. And I mean, Colorado is becoming one of those states that is a great goose state.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, we take our fair share of ass kickings every year.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you scout, and then they've been in there all week, and you can't make them do what they've been doing the week before.
It happens. So. Do you dabble in elk hunting any? No, strictly waterfowl.
I hunt elk. I'm sorry. I don't hunt elk. I hunt mule deer and antelope on occasion.
How did you miss the elk bug? Everybody in Colorado hunts elk. How did you miss it?
You just answered the question right there.
Everybody does.
Everybody in Colorado wants that elk. Yeah. And we used to hunt elk when my grandfather was alive, and it was a big camp, and there'd be 10, 15 guys. We'd all go down, stay in outfitter tents, and it's everything you could imagine on outdoor life elk hunts. But I mean, kind of the patriarch goes away, and everybody disbands, and nobody goes.
Yeah.
And I mean, my grandfather, he's the one that got me into hunting. Him, my stepdad, and then my uncle. I've been around it since I was a little kid. But elk hunting just doesn't have that shine to me like it used to.
That's a lot of work too. Them guys.
A lot of work.
Now I do see the wheat fields around the mountains will have all the elk in them and stuff, and that looked like that'd be the way to hunt them, the way we would deer. But my God, going up in the high country and then all that shit, that hell no. Well, Blake Poppy's brother shot a monster freaking elk. What did Blake tell me that thing scored, like 365?
I don't know.
It was huge, but that was a plains elk in Nebraska.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, it was just in the plains. Boy, that sucker was a monster.
It was
But like boy. The other part of it is though, so I guess I can't say that I don't hunt elk, but my father-in-law, my in-laws all live in Utah, and I went with them last year, and I mean, it's a blast. Horseback hunt, everything you guys can imagine about.
That does not sound fun
elk.
to me, though.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But just like anything else, if the people are good where you're at, it's fun.
I could make the most of it, but my fat ass don't want to ride on a freaking horse through the mountains.
No. I mean, my fat ass rode around in the pickup during their
that's
elk
what.
hunt.
That's the way I would want to elk hunt. That just is not my cup of tea. It's kind of like the romantic part of being the Indian, man, sleeping in a tent, doing all this stuff. Really thinking about it, there ain't fucking nothing fun about that. Freezing your freaking ass off, being miserable, no hot water. Does not sound fun at all. And being in an elk camp for 2 weeks, and I've got friends that do that shit. They go up there and they come back stinking like fucking Sasquatch. Not me. Not for me at all. But I'm not I don't like to eat a lot of wild game, but elk is pretty good. I like elk. Moose is my favorite. Elk is second.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, and like the interesting thing about Utah is they have a spike only hunt, so they can only shoot spike elk.
Really?
Which helps the genetics and all that stuff, it's interesting to me. Colorado, a lot of the units are 4 points or better. And I feel like Colorado, even though we have the biggest elk herd in the United States, or one of the biggest elk herds in the United States, the genetics in the bigger bulls just isn't there like it used to be.
I don't think I've ever seen a spike bull or a spike elk that I know of.
Either.
They're funny.
So that's a genetic thing. It's not like an age thing like you see with whitetail.
No, whitetail's not that way either. I think a whitetail, if it's a spike, it's going to be a spike. I don't think that they are.
I thought that was like a 1-year-old deer.
I don't think so. And I think they found it out through science that.
Really?
And I may be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that a spike deer, even a whitetail that's a spike, if it's going to be a spike, probably forever. You don't see very many spike whitetails either anymore.
Well, like, yeah, you get those spikes that have 2 foot long spikes on them. Yeah, those are probably never going to be anything other than that, I would imagine. But then you also get the younger elk and deer with small spikes on them that they're probably going to develop into anything or develop into something. But I think what they're trying to accomplish there is keeping those younger bulls from breeding them cows.
Right. Oh, okay. And letting the more mature bulls pass on his genetics.
So Correct. They will go from a spike to a regular set of horns.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that. I thought in the whitetail deal, if there's a spike, there was a good chance it was going to be a spike.
Well, now this from Texas Departments of Wildlife from TPWD, which is our governing body. The bottom line of the Kerr study is that antler characteristics, including spikes, are inherited. Old spikes produce young spikes, so it's acting like maybe in whitetail deer.
That's what I was thinking.
It is all genetics.
If you're a spike, you're probably going to be a spike forever.
But and then it's also saying that's a myth too. So I don't know. I don't know who to talk to. I'm not a deer guy. I'm like the thing that gets me with a lot of the big game hunting is, you can only shoot a couple times a year if everything goes perfect. Waterfowl, you got to be quiet. You got to have can't smell bad. You can't fart. You can't talk. That sounds awful.
Who's a better hunter? A guy shooting a 300-inch elk with a bow, or a guy waterfowl hunting weary birds at the end of the season?
I think it's different skill set, but I think that they're both very, very skilled outdoorsmen.
I would agree on that. I was trying to put you in a corner there, and you answered it very good.
I think both of them, Jeff. I think both of them would probably have their own expertise on that, and it's
apples and oranges. I think
I'm not patient enough to shoot a big elk with a bow. It's just not. I don't have the patience for that. But I used to be a really good waterfowl hunter back in the day. I think I still could. I wouldn't starve to death if you put me out in the woods and I had to find something to kill to eat. I could do okay as a hunter or a fisherman.
Sure.
But it takes a really good skill set to shoot a big game animal, a moose, whatever it is. But you have a big advantage on it. It's during the rut time, and those animals have lost their mind, a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Where
the archery season here is during the elk rut.
Yeah.
How many guys get gored by an elk during that time of year? It's got to happen. Might not be a bunch, but it's got to happen.
I would imagine that it happens, but the thing here, like, we just had a guy get gored by a moose.
Oh, fuck.
They're dangerous as hell, though.
And I mean, like flight for life, lifted out, gored by a moose, not just tickle him and let him
You
go.
gutted him.
Yeah, it was bad.
Are y'all getting a bigger moose population up there?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of moose since they've introduced them. I think it was late 80s, early 90s when they introduced them.
There ain't a more goofy looking fucking animal in the world in the wild than a fucking moose walking around or running.
No, they look like, they're like, I guess in the waterfowl world, you could relate moose to sandhill cranes. They're just gangly and you wouldn't understand how that works, but it works.
Yeah, and I think there's more people in Alaska get killed a year by moose than they do bears.
I wonder what would be the worst death, because if an elk gets you, like, you're gonna have swords going through your body, but a moose, it's just gonna kind of club you to death, isn't it?
Oh, they'll stomp on your ass. I don't think either one of them would be very fucking fun. Or a grizzly bear.
Yeah, I don't think you can put a number on that.
Boy, I don't know. Like, you're in a mountain and you see mama moose and 2 bull elks, and you got a grizzly behind you. I don't know which way I'm going.
Probably gonna.
I'd go for grizzly. It's probably gonna be quicker.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna die from shitting on myself real fast and having a heart attack. I hope.
We got no good options.
I'm a tough guy. I want to die in my sleep.
Yeah.
That's,
that makes
yeah,
it
just like most people. And I don't know what it is, but like, if I went down to the cleaning shed and there was 100 geese and there was 1 deer, I would choose the 100 geese to clean and just rip through them and just be done with it.
Then to clean what?
Clean 1 deer.
Oh, fuck, I'm with you on the geese, and I don't want to clean either one of them. I got somebody working for us that does that shit, but there ain't nothing about cleaning a deer that's, or anything like that. I don't even like to clean a pig.
Yeah.
Gut
well,
a pig.
I mean, there's guys that are good at it.
They are.
Make it look easy. Just like waterfowl. You know,
those people piss me off because I go to YouTube to watch them, and they're just like 3 cuts, and then they got it. It's completely dismembered, and then 2 more cuts, and the fur's up over its head, and then 9 cuts later, all the meat's off of it, and they've deboned it all.
Have you seen
how the fuck did you do this?
Have you seen the YouTube video of the guy?
I can't even find my knives that quick.
The guy that cleans the cows in the field. He's got like a portable truck. He's got a truck with a freezer box on it. And it's got a winch that comes out of it. And he goes up to him and shoots a cow in the head, rolls it over, hooks this damn winch on it, guts it, some bitch, skins it, cuts it out. And I'm not lying to you. In 15 minutes, that steer is completely cleaned and in the frozen, and pushes a button and pulls it right up into there, and it's hanging. And he'll clean 10 or 15 of them like in a day. Just bam, 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 bam. But he knows what he's freaking doing, you know?
Right.
I'd have hell just trying to get some bit shot and rolled over and stuff. He makes it look, it's like anything else once you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But I tell you how much I hate cleaning a big game animal. Back when I used to guide hog hunts here, the honest to God truth, I would tell guys, listen, I don't want to tip. You just field dress your own animal. And they would do that all the time.
God.
Yeah, I used to hunt antelope with a guy that was stupidly fast.
Really?
I mean, the rule, with antelope, I mean, the rule is you get them clean and skinned as fast as you possibly can.
Hot?
Just because that hair taints that meat so much. You get them clean and cooled down as fast as you can. And it actually, people will tell you the antelope is nasty, but it's actually pretty good if it's taken care of. But
do they smell bad? Do they smell bad? Like once you've shot them and you walk up to them, do you notice a bad odor? Because I've always heard that.
Kinda. I mean,
it's different.
It's a distinct odor. That's for sure.
Kind of like lamb or something like that.
Yeah, and I mean, but no, he would. I mean, that antelope would hit the ground, and it would be back in. I mean, he'd have it in the truck in 5 minutes.
Really?
Just that fast, and you're like, holy
how heavy
cow.
do they get?
A big antelope will be like 140, 150 pounds on the hoof. So I mean, by the time you gut it, they're 90 to 100 pounds on a big one.
So that's not a terrible amount of weight to be moving around.
No, but like the deal was, he'd gut him and I'd throw him in the truck. So he'd gut it, I'd lift it up by its front legs, dump it, we'd wash it out real quick, and I'd throw it in the truck.
How do they get into nutrition? Because the places that I see them in New Mexico, it's just brown. It's just dormant grass. Like, how the hell are they getting anything out of what they're eating?
You know, where I used to hunt them, it was a lot of wheat,
Yeah.
a lot of, stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of wheat in Colorado. But yeah, I mean, that's how they would get their nutrition. I mean, but you're right. I've seen them out on the sagebrush flats, and you're like, what the hell are they eating?
What are you getting out of this?
And there's grass. I mean, it's not just sage. I mean, there's grass out in that sage.
I guess so.
But
that was something Blake and them were going to do that one year, and I don't think they ever did it. We're going to antelope hunt.
The thing of it is, though, with antelope and deer here too as well, if you shoot them on the eastern plains versus up in the mountains, totally different tasting animal.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I've heard they taste
better?
real lanolin-y, whatever lanolin is.
They taste better out on the plains because they're eating the wheat and the corn and whatever.
Right. So
hell, the antelope up in the mountains, you don't even have to put any seasoning in the sausage mix because they already taste like sage.
Sage is what real sagey. I got a guy that hunts with me, and I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to indict him and get in trouble. But he told me a story. It's some older guys that hunt with me, and they got this little Greek guy that hunts with them. And they were driving around. They go to Wyoming, go antelope hunting. And he said they were driving around, and one guy's a really, really good shot, and so one guy's spotting and one guy's shooting. And this Greek guy's a spotter, and he goes, "Okay, shoot." The guy shoots, miss. He's like, "What?" He said, "Miss." Drove up somewhere else. I saw another one. Miss. God dang. Went 4 places and did that. Finally, they did it on the 5th place. He shot and miss. He's like, my gun has got. So then his brother comes up in another truck. He goes, "Well, that's a damn nice shot you had there." He goes, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, it fell right there." That guy killed 4 fucking antelope out of 5. That guy couldn't see on the spotting scope. He kept saying, "Meese," and they never did check. And they had dead antelope all over Wyoming. He said, "God, we were scared to death we were going to get in trouble." So we went back and cleaned every one of them and left and went back home. But
need a good spotter.
I can't see Blake antelope hunting. That's a lot of walking and stalking.
They were going to do it with bows, if that's possible.
You got to hunt a water hole then.
Well,
I think.
So the place we used to hunt for antelope, they weren't very spooky. It wasn't a lot of walking and stalking. It's step out of the pickup, lean across the fence post, and let it have it.
That'd be more Blake style, I think.
Yeah.
But
I mean, get off. Everything was legal. I mean, get off the road.
Yeah.
Shoot them that way.
Yeah. Well, that's how a lot of whitetail are killed here. You just park your Chevy in a little tree row overlooking a big wheat field, and you got a nice stand. Shoot it off of.
I can't remember the last time I shot a deer that I wasn't in my driver's side. In my pickup. I can't remember ever shooting a deer without it.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I sat in a deer stand.
I mean,
it's legal.
Clarify this.
That's legal here.
Right.
I mean, it's nothing illegal.
It's on a private field,
yes.
And the truck is off. You're not running it
you
down.
You can shoot one while driving if you want to here. As long as you're on private property, yes.
Really?
That's high fence. People shoot them off high rack vehicles all the time.
But high fence, they don't play by the same rules.
No, high rack. You can be on a high rack and shoot a damn deer. There's no law against that in Texas. So I'm not doing nothing illegal. But if I've got a deer feeder going, I've shot them out of my front truck at my front seat while they're at a feeder. I mean, it's warm. You can listen to the radio. You got a heater, a defroster. Why the hell you want to be cold? It just don't make no sense.
Yeah. But we're not big deer guys either, though. So.
No, I'm not. It'd have to be a freaking moose for me to go set somewhere. Matter of fact, that's the last time I deer hunted. I saw a moose. I saw about 180-inch deer on the ranch we had. It's got a 6,000-acre wheat field. 6,000 acres. My fat ass for 2 days laid around that wheat field waiting to see that deer. That's some bitch you come out a half mile the next one day. The next day it'd be a mile and a half away. Then it would be 2 miles away. Then you'd go down there. Then he'd come out right where you were sitting. I was like, screw it. He won. Just not that mad at him.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Waterfowl hunting is so much more fun. I'm telling you.
It really is.
Now, has your season open there already? You open September 1?
No.
When do you open?
So, duck season west of I-25 and east of the Continental Divide opens Saturday.
So it's coming up. You got anything lined up for this weekend?
We're trying. Don't know yet, but there's talks of giving it a go. And then
what?
East of I-25 opens the week after for ducks, and then goose season doesn't open till October 31st.
Oh, geez, I didn't realize that. So you're way late. You're only a week before us.
Right.
Huh. When does our duck season open here? It's the last 2 weeks of
October
October,
25th or 26th.
and then we get it for 2 weeks, and then it's closed.
We never close on ducks. Well, I lied. We open Saturday and Sunday, and then it shuts down Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, then it opens up again on Friday, then it's open till the end of season.
Right.
And we goose hunt that same Saturday. November 5th, goose season opens for us. The weekend before, which would be the 29th and 30th of October, is when
duck season
opens.
Okay. So we'll see. We don't get, unless it gets really cold, we won't get,
Opening weekend of duck season usually is good because you got a month of birds sitting in here.
Usually.
Like there's a bunch of ducks right now behind the lodge. I just looked.
We're going to need some north winds.
But we need some winds. But our ducks we have right now we've got a ton of teal, and there was a bunch of pintails down there yesterday.
So we hunted the teal season, which is the week after dove season opens, which is September 8th or whatever it was this year. No, it was the 10th. Anyway, most of the time we shoot blue wings here, teal season.
Yeah.
We shot nothing but green.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. We had a relative, I think we had a normal mix. We usually shoot mostly blues and some greens, but I don't remember seeing just an abundance of green wing teal.
We shot one green wing that last weekend we hunted. But that's not unusual for us anyways, though.
Yeah, but normally, we're shooting green wing teal all the way to the end of duck season.
No, we don't kill green wing teal. We start really killing green wing teal once it gets cold.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Yeah,
right.
but we kill a few green wing teal all year long. We won't have any blue wing teal here usually by the 1st of November. They're out of here.
Will
you kill a blue wing teal in November?
Probably not.
Yeah, us either. And you know what's crazy is I saw a picture last year. Somebody in Kansas killed a full blue wing, full with the white moon crest and everything sometime in late November. We've never killed a mature blue wing teal here ever. We've killed some cinnamons. We up until this last year when it was pretty dry, the years before, we killed 5 or 6 years in a row. We killed a few cinnamon teal every year. Please don't call me to book a cinnamon teal hunt because I'm not going to do that because someone's going to call me. It happens every time I mention it. Well, we'd like to get on a cinnamon teal. Well, I'm sure you would. Everybody would.
So would
it's
we.
very rare.
They shoot quite a few cinnamon teal over in that Alamosa country.
Do they really?
Yeah, when you get back towards Arizona and New Mexico, that area they do. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's called South Park. It's got its own season, and they shoot quite a few cinnamon teal.
Around
more than normally. We don't really see them on the Front Range here.
You got to fight those alligators for the cinnamon teal at Alamosa.
There's a refuge outside of Albuquerque, and I think I can't remember the name of it exactly, but that area they kill a lot of cinnamon teal, I believe, also in the wintertime. Which we just El Paso they kill some.
They kill them on Salt Lake all the time.
Yeah, that's beautiful, beautiful. I did not realize that thing is going down so fast. That's serious.
Dry.
That's crazy.
And the Sam Soholt, wasn't it? He said if it goes completely dry, the air will become toxic because of all the metals that are on the bottom that are on the lake bed. If you get a big wind, the whatever metal it is, it's going to make toxic air, and you won't be able to breathe. So they're going to have to figure out what to do there.
Well, Joe Biden's fucked up everything. He's even made the Salt Lake go dry.
Yeah, that's bad.
He's wiping out Mormons. It's racist, is what it is. He just don't like the Mormons.
I don't know. They got too much money.
They own a lot of land.
I wish I could remember what that was.
That it's a religion, but it's a business too.
Well, they all are, unfortunately. The Methodist Church that I'm a part of, that's the cult that I align with.
I can't believe you said that.
What?
It's funny. I just can't believe you said that. You can make the hope that none of them old people in town listen to this shit because they're going to be on your ass now.
Okay. But,
give another 10%.
Yeah. I mean, we got rid of the United Methodist Church, and now we're with the Global Methodist Church over.
That was over gay marriage, wasn't it?
It was, but I mean, a lot of it had to do with your portions, and how much money you're going to send the head cult leader, and so it's like it's just a business, and that's all that it is, and that's all that. That's all that any big church denomination sees their little peasants as, or just people that are going to feed the machine.
I go to a non-denominational church. I go twice, 3 times a year on a good year, and I should go more. I love Jesus. I do. And
I can really tell.
I'm not a good Christian, but I am a Christian, and my preacher is a good friend of mine, and he's a good guy, and there's not very many of them, but he works a full-time job, owns a very successful business, but he don't have his hand out trying to get in your pocket all the time, and I trust him.
Weddings and funerals is all I go. I went to a Baptist school for high school primarily because I wouldn't have made it otherwise. My parents were like, yeah, we better put him in something with a little bit more structure. But I mean, it was 4 years of just getting it crammed down your throat. And there's nothing against it. It's just, I don't think you have to practice it every day.
Yeah, that's tough. Whenever it's just force fed to you.
It's like anything. But the Mormons are the whole state of Utah with a lot of their cultish type deals. And I'm sure I'm going to piss some people off here, but what's that show called where the Be Kind and Be Sweet or whatever it was?
Keep Sweet, Pray.
Yeah, about the Jeffress guy, that cult that they were in.
I only saw a couple episodes.
I watched the whole thing on it. But them people owned construction companies, concrete deals, metal. I mean, they did everything, multi-millions and millions of dollars, all under the umbrella of that church and the taxes. And it's just crazy how they did all that stuff. But man, those people, I'm telling you right, you're a hell of a salesman if you can have a guy come to work for you, give you his bank account, give you his business, and then let you bang his wife, and he's not going to. You're a fucking salesman and a half. I'm telling you, that son of a bitch. Bill Gates ain't got shit on that dude. I'm telling you right now. And that.
Yeah, I mean, and I think Utah gets a bad rep. Yeah, there is a lot of that stuff where if you're not part of the Mormon community.
Oh, I forgot your family's from Utah. I forgot you had family in Utah.
No, it's like, so I met my wife. Funny story. My wife, her parents, both of her siblings, we've all met in a bar. Mm-hmm. And she told me where she was from. And I was like, of course, I made the Mormon joke. And she was like, nope, I'm the 30th wife. I only have to go home one day a month. So like, there's a part of Utah where, they're just like everybody else. And then there's some very, very devout Mormon people, which is great. Good for them.
Well, they bought into that big time. And I can understand buying into it in the 1800s and 1700s and that kind of stuff. But modern day ages, these people that have bought into that stuff, especially with the wives and the daughters, I just don't understand how anybody can convince someone of that. I mean, that.
Yeah, we watched a few of those Netflix series, and that's some pretty gross shit. I'm going to be honest with you.
Oh.
I mean, they're 14, 15-year-old girls that are becoming wives.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's just wrong.
As soon as they have their period, they're fair game. One of the girls on that Keep Sweet.
Grass on the playing field.
One of the girls on that show, Keep Sweet, Pray, Love. Is that what it was?
Something like that.
Evidently, this old guy, he's in his 80s, and he's got like 40 wives that live with him.
No, he had like 100 wives almost.
And they would all have to kiss him at night. And he would put them in the hallway in order that he married them. So one would be the first kiss, and then like all the way down. And she was like, it just grossed me out knowing that I was number 40 in this line, and that, he's cramming his tongue down my throat after he's done this to 39 other women just seconds before me.
Boy, his back end of the line looked a whole lot better than his front end of the line.
Yeah, he did a lot better when he was younger.
No, I mean, I'm just talking about by the time when he started out, he's kissing a 65-year-old woman.
Yeah.
By the time they got to about the 30s, it wasn't so bad again. You'd be like culling them out.
But
I mean, was he sponsored by Carmex
and Viagra? Probably.
She did a lot of. She said she did a lot of Listerine, a lot of gum chewing, a lot of Listerine after.
I mean, you'd be talking to some lady that could be your great grandma, and that's your other sister wife or whatever it would be. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You got to be one hell of a salesman to put that shit on people. But the guys that would give their wives to these guys is what was really amazing. It would be a real honor if you would sleep with my wife.
But he convinced them that he was the Messiah. He was not going to die. So these people viewed it as an honor that their daughter would be bred by a god.
Do you imagine some guy trying to tell you that about Jesse? Listen, Andy, tell you what, I want you to give me all your money at your banking account, okay? Then I want you to let your wife come sleep with me and let her sleep with me because I'm God. And you go, man, I bet he is.
But do you want to be the person that tells God no?
That's not God.
I don't.
If they're trying to sleep with my wife, if God's trying to sleep with my wife, sorry, sir.
I don't pretend to know what.
The real God
what
don't
God
need my
wants.
permission, you know. So this guy here
He's
does.
just gonna put the seed in there whether she likes it or not.
I mean, that's what he did to Mary.
That's right.
You know.
See there, and Joseph didn't balk at it. He's like, I
don't think Joseph had any say in it.
Yes, he did. He could have been like, no, he could have sold her out.
No. But I don't think Joseph could have stopped the seed from being there.
No, but Joseph didn't have to hang out with Mary like he did and raise Jesus as his own.
There's a lot of guys out there that you know like that.
I don't know.
There's a lot. There's more than one of those guys out there. It's called having faith. But yeah, Joseph right there. Joseph should be man of the year every year.
You think so?
You think about that. What he did. That's a hell of a man to do that deal. You don't think so?
And there's no blood test. You can't. I mean,
there wasn't no paternity test back then.
Your word against hers. My goodness, what have we talked about on this episode?
Drugs, Jesus, Mormons,
pot, Mormons,
about like every other show that we do.
And that's why it's growing like crazy. There are some degenerate people in this world that listen to us because every month and every week we grow and grow and grow. And I guess somebody else has another friend of theirs that's really fucked up. And they're like, you need to listen to these guys.
Do you shoot a lot of bands in your area?
I've hunted waterfowl for 30.
This is a no.
Yes, I can already tell he's answering this.
100%. Yeah. I've seen band shot, but no.
So you figure all the big geese y'all shoot, you would shoot bands because but y'all's big geese are migrating birds. They're not locals, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's the difference.
I mean, I'm sure we're shooting some locals, but we'll shoot a few big ones early in the year. But the thing that'll piss you off though is you get done hunting, you go to the drive-through, and there's a goose walking across the drive-through at Arby's, and it's banned.
Yeah, that's why I figured you just had a lanyard full.
No. Uh-uh.
You know, I saw hardcore one of those other Facebook pages there. They had a guy, and he's like, "We shot 8 bands this morning." Well, yeah, it's called One Family. They banded them right up to City Park earlier the year, and you shot the shit out of them. And hey, nothing's wrong with that. I mean, that's hunting the bird, but to shoot a band that way it's all luck anyways. But it's different than shooting one that's coming out of Canada that's just a random.
I would think this time of year, if you shot a band, you're
local.
Probably going to shoot a bunch of bands. Like if you shot into a flock of birds and you got a band, majority of the time, the others are banded as well because they're all in family groups right now.
Well, I got a buddy that, I mean, he waterfowl hunted before, but he didn't really get into it. And the first time he got out there in the pit, first bird he shot was a banded goose.
Jeez.
You hear about people that do
and
that.
I was like,
yeah.
He sends me a picture, and I'm like, yeah, you suck.
Reese shot his first teal this week, and I thought when the dog was going to get, I thought, if this comes back banded, what a story this would be. Kid's first bird, blah, blah, blah. But of course it wasn't.
No.
But
man, I'll tell you, kids in the blind and kids out hunting are great. I'm hang out with all my friends have younger kids. And I mean, I bring them all chocolate donuts and get them all fired up and send them back home. But just their enthusiasm to be out there is pretty cool.
Oh man, I think I was more excited about Reese killing the bird that he knocked down out of the air more than he was. I really do.
He's like, yeah.
My exact words were, "Thank God," because I didn't want him to miss and miss and miss and not kill one. So when one come out, I was like, "Oh, thank you, Jesus." Then he's
like, "Yeah, Grandpa, that's what we're supposed to do." Don't you know?
And then he wanted to get it mounted. That was the best conversation. I knew it was going to happen too. And he's like, "I want to get it mounted." Andy goes, "We are not getting a
brown teal
mounted.
There's not a stitch of color on it other than the blue that's on the wings. Like there's nothing. We're not doing this, kid.
When he kills his first speck, I'm going to get it mounted for him.
Just forget about it.
I mean, come on, Andy.
Fuck. And I kept saying, like, we're not getting it mounted. Well, I don't want to get it mounted. I just want to keep it.
It's gonna stink.
It's not how this works. Like, you got to get it mounted, or it's not gonna work. I'll just keep it in my room. Like, no, that's not how this works. You got to get it mounted. And I'm not mounting brown. I'm not spending a couple $100 to get a brown teal mounted.
First of all, it wouldn't cost anything to get it mounted.
Well, Jeff, it costs something. It costs something. But it was a lot of fun, and it was a great way to end teal season too. I mean, I had the whole family out there. Jameson had his first hunt ever, and I got shit for that because Jesse said whenever Reese went on his first hunt, it was a big deal. The second kid goes on his first hunt, and
what do you mean it was a big deal? I mean, what did you do? Have a cake?
There were Instagram posts and all sorts of stuff, and Jameson's first hunt ever, reshoots his first bird in the air. So
Jameson was upset he wasn't on Instagram. He had no idea.
Reese just usurped everything that Jameson had going for him that day.
Second kids always get screwed on everything. That's why they're fucking outlaws usually.
He was just happy.
They do. Well, wait a minute. I'm a second kid.
Then you got some outlawing you compared to the older brother.
That's why you went to a Baptist school.
Yes.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not
wrong. The middle child or second child is usually a jackass sometimes or another. They're doom buggies.
They can be.
And Jameson is going to live up to that, I think. He's probably going to be a great kid because Andy and Jesse are good parents, but he's got a lot more dog in him than Reese does. He's not going to get his feelings hurt.
Sure.
Yeah.
But like, just having kids out there is fun. And then it's another hand. I mean, they're picking up decoys and doing whatever they just want to help.
True. And I showed Reese how to clean birds, and let me tell you what, I got so much hate for that on Instagram.
Why?
I saw that video.
Oh boy.
I saw that one on Instagram, and I was like,
I was close to taking it down. I was seconds away, and then it's funny because my people started showing up, and they let the antis have it. And I was like, we'll just let this bitch ride.
Your mom was really upset about that.
Well, and then I was like, I'm in a position where I want to show this, but I don't want to show my kid. I don't want my kid to have to, because one guy said he's the next Jeffrey Dahmer, and Reese is one of the sweetest kids that you'll ever meet. I mean, he's got a heart of gold. He would literally do anything for anybody, and some of that stuff, it fucks with you because you're like, if he doesn't know this kid, and I don't want my son to be punished for people coming after me. So I'm already in this position of how much do I want my kid in the public eye? And then that started to happen. I was like, I'm just going to take it down. Sure. And then in an hour, it had 20,000 views. And I was like, fuck it. And then all of Ramsey Russell commented on it, and just every hunter that follows me started commenting on it. And I was like, all right, we're just gonna let them have a taste of their own medicine here.
Where are the people that are antis though? How do they get to your stuff? That's what gets me. I can't imagine.
Because I only had a couple I put a hashtag Big Honker Podcast, and I think duck hunting and maybe Stanfield Hunting Outfitters. So how they saw it, I don't even know.
That's what I mean though. But I mean, can you imagine expending the energy to go chase down something that you don't? I'm not a fan of fucking liberals at all, but I'm not going to get on a liberal freaking picture and start trashing people for being dumbasses. Just don't do it. I don't have the energy to want to do that shit. And if all this damn drag queen shit,
yeah,
I ain't going and looking at these damn videos and putting shit in there anti-drag queen. I got better things to do with my time than to waste it worrying about their shit. I don't understand why someone like that comes to do it. My dad got the first email years and years and years ago about sandhill cranes. A guy was bitching about the sandhill crane, the beautiful bird, and blah blah this. And we don't shoot them where I live at because we appreciate them and we love them and blah blah blah. And Dad answered back with an email, and I read it. Dad said, "Well, tell you what, you keep your sandhill crane in Michigan and don't shoot it. But if that some bitch comes to Texas, I'm gonna shoot the fuck out of that bastard." That's how Dad sent back an email. Dad never heard back from that old boy ever again. But I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't understand how somebody that's anti-hunting would get to see that either, just because of the algorithms and all that stuff in social media today.
I don't know why they would search it out to even.
I don't know that they did. I don't know if they searched it.
But I don't understand why they would even comment. I don't understand why they don't have better things to do with their time. You know, go fucking make tofu or some shit.
But
you know?
and I mean, we were cleaning a duck. You know, I mean, if these people eat any ounce of meat, how do they think that gets to their table? How do they think it gets to the grocery store shelves? Like there's a ugly process to having meat. I mean, it's just the way that it is. If you're eating vegetables, well, guess what? I mean, you're harvesting that vegetable. You're cutting it from its roots.
You're also probably eating a vegetable that was sprayed by a chemical that killed something so it could survive.
Right.
Or you're eating something that's made with flour and it's got 3% rat shit in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so, and people, I'm not kidding you about the rat shit. There is an amount of rat shit in flour.
I think it's in all food that's acceptable.
Yes, and so it's there. So,
yeah.
So you know, are you a vegetarian if you eat flour? Because you're eating some rat shit. That's part of a rat.
Well, there's vegans and there's vegetarians, and I don't know the difference. But I mean, it's part of life. Like if you're gonna enjoy, I happen to love teal. I think it tastes a lot like Dove. I love Dove. It's going to take, we're cooking them tomorrow night. I'm excited about it, but there's a process into getting these things. And quite frankly, I didn't have two boys to not teach them how to clean a duck or a dove.
How did Reese do on that? Did he end up cleaning any himself?
Yeah. Once he could, I mean, you just gotta, it's just hard to teach him. Like you've got to go past the feathers and feel that little bit of skin and pull that. So at first he was pulling a lot of feathers, which is what he'll do.
The first guy, we have guys here that do that shit.
Yeah.
Harry told me when he started cleaning birds down here, he goes, "Why? How come? Looks like I made a pillow when I cleaned my first one. Well, now you don't.
Right.
You got to learn to get them skin into that skin and pull that meat back.
Pull it back. So, got hang of it.
Yeah, I wish we'd have shot more teal. I mean, we shot 9 or 10, I think, but I mean, they're gone.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully we shoot some more, but
I think early teal season should be open from fucking September 8th or 9th or 10th, whenever they open it here, through Halloween. They should open up early teal season because the blue-winged teal, their numbers do not get affected at all by hunters because they're ended up in Mexico and South America where nobody jacks with them, and their numbers are up every year.
Yeah, I think their numbers are way, way up.
Yeah, because they don't ever get harvested.
they're way up.
And I don't know why we don't open up teal season to all the way through at least middle of October. And I know the answer is, well, we have too many other ducks shot. Well, people shouldn't be shooting other ducks.
Yeah, and that would 100% be the answer is, you know, the collateral damage from.
But the northern
teal season going
the northern states don't have the ability to shoot blue-winged teal like we do.
Because they're gone?
Because they're gone. The green-winged teal, I could see where it would make a difference, but we're not going to shoot that many green-winged teal anyways at that time. But we'll have...
Right.
We got thousands of blue-winged teal that'll hear off and on all the time during the wintertime. I mean, in September, October, that nobody ever jacks with other than teal season. That's it. And in 3 weeks, it's done.
And I mean, we'll shoot blue wings probably the first month of duck season.
See, when's y'all's duck season open, though?
October the 8th is east of I-25, October 1st. So
Saturday.
this weekend is west of I-25.
Through the month of October, you'll kill blue-winged teal. See, we would here too,
yeah.
But by the time Halloween gets here, a blue-winged teal's very rare here. By then, it's going to be green wings if you're going to be shooting any teal. But those teal get through and nobody jacks with them.
And it's all weather dependent here. You know, if we get a big cold snap, which
not happening.
We're about the same as you guys are right now, except for it's getting cooler at night. I mean, it's down in the high 40s, low 50s at night here.
See, we're in the mid 50s high or mid 50s and then early low 60s here. So
I got a picture just come up on my memories on Facebook, and it was Reese hunting with me and Andy and Zach, and we're wearing coats and jackets, so it was colder then than it is now. And that was 4 years ago.
Yeah, but when did you post that too, though?
No, that's a picture of me, you, and Zach teal hunted at the tee.
Oh.
Out of that blind, and I think Eric hunted with us, but it was cold. Right. It was cold enough that you're wearing a vest and a long sleeve shirt, and Zach's wearing a vest and a hoodie.
I tell you the worst part about that, the thing that I went through this last weekend with my kid and the Instagram post was how excited he was that he helped out, because I kept telling him, we're going to eat this and it's going to be delicious, and he was so excited telling his younger brother, because then we washed them and bagged them, and Jameson was asking what they were and all that stuff, but Reese was so excited that he helped in this process, and these people are just trying to dog on it. And it's like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Well, he never
you're
gonna-
missing the
That's
point.
frustrating.
They don't understand that. It's the same as a kid that raises an ag animal for FFA and raises it, and then they take it to a show and it wins, loses, or whatever, and it goes on a truck and gets slaughtered somewhere. And that's part of life. That's part of the food chain. And Reese learned every part of the hunt. He learned the getting up early part, putting out decoys part, hiding, hunting, and cleaning the bird and picking up stuff. And that's the whole thing it goes. And he learned a very good lesson, and he will be a part of that every day.
Yeah. I mean, he got to watch it from start to finish, which is unfortunately not the common view from kids these days.
No.
Nope.
One kid made me feel bad. He said, I witnessed more fathering in an Instagram video than I ever got in my entire childhood. I'm like, whew, this kid needs a fucking hug.
Yeah, that's a bad deal.
Sad.
And another thing is Reese is fixing to be 8 years old in October. By the time Reese is 12, he's going to be like every other kid around here raised. He's going to end up being helping hunt and guiding hunts when he's 12, 13 years old.
Mm-hmm.
If he wants to, he may not want to, but he probably will. And so he's going to be on that track of getting to be and experience things a lot of kids don't do. And that's one of the fortunate things, but that's what people need to take kids hunting. Take them hunting, take them fishing, take them camping, And I never thought I would say this, but I really believe we need to teach our kids how to grow a garden.
Teach them to do a lot of, like, I've been in construction my entire life, and it's kept the food in my stomach and a roof over my head. But I mean, I'm at a point now, I'm a superintendent. We can't get any help, and these older generation, from 30 on, they're going to retire. And these younger generation, they don't want to do construction work. I mean, I've been told that construction work was for convicts and Hispanics before. And I'm like, well, I'm neither.
Well,
and I made a pretty successful run of it.
Well, here the Hispanics just do the concrete and the roofing.
Maybe a little bit of tile work.
Up here, that our crews are probably 75% Hispanic.
They're the best workers in the world.
And they will work their ever living guts out.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Good employees. You take care of them, I'll take care of you. My ladies that work here they're Mexicans. I don't call them Hispanics. They're Mexican ladies. So they all make Mexican food, and they're great hands. Show up to work. They want to work. They work. And they take pride in what they do. And we are in big trouble when these young generations. You won't be able to get your toilet unclogged.
Mm-mm.
You won't be able to get your electricity. It won't be a damn thing you'll be able to do in 30 years unless you know how to do it yourself, because these new kids do not want to do shit.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, if I could get a hold of every 14, 15, 16-year-old kid that would listen, I'd tell them go into college is great. I feel that, and that's another argument my wife and I have. College is great. Further education is great. But, here in the next 15, 20 years, you're going to be making just as much or more in the trade because nobody wants to do it.
Yes, 100%. And regardless, if you could go to work for a guy like you for 3 years and maybe go on to do something else, whenever there is this massive shortage of plumbers and electricians and carpenters, you will at least have a basic knowledge of how your plumbing works, so that when you do have a flood or your toilets do get clogged up at 10 o'clock at night, you can at least figure out what to do on your own without having to rely on the one plumber in town that's got a waiting list that's 3 months long, because that day is coming when you're not going to be able to get your plumbing touched. Yes. Yeah, exactly. You'll save yourself a little bit of money by knowing how to do just the basics of home repair, home building, whatever it is. But there is going to come a day where you're not going to be able to get shit fixed. You want your ceiling fan fixed? You better fucking figure out how to do it by yourself, because the electrician is not going to come. He's going to be overworked, or he's not going to be there. I don't know what we're going to do in our little community.
Well, luckily we have a sewer machine, and most basic little stuff you and Tony can fix. I can't do shit, but y'all can. And then Harry does electrician work for us around here, so we can cover our basics.
But I'm talking about just
20 years down the road,
our area, because
our plumbers you're wait. I saw the guy that used to do plumbing at my house. He's 142 years old now.
Right.
I mean, and there's nobody to replace him. You're right.
The electric company in town, it's third generation owned.
Yeah. It's second generation. But there's no third generation. Them boys both went to medical school or something.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what this area is going to do for electrician in the coming 20 years.
He don't even do home electricity stuff no more.
Yeah. So
we're lucky our air conditioning and heating guy
are young.
Are young, and they do really good work, and they've got a group of young guys that work there. But I'm telling you, in the big cities, at least y'all do have people that are still there because there's a big enough population. But someone told me in Dallas, if you need a plumber right now, it takes 2 to 3 days to get a plumber to your house.
That's a lot of shit building up.
Yeah.
It's that pot brings them here.
It's the pot. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, whatever it takes, I guess. I don't know.
I use my toilet in the backyard anyways. I pee outside every day.
Yeah, you got to rotate spots so it starts.
I got in trouble yesterday.
Oh,
I got in trouble yesterday for that.
Jameson, my youngest, he gets in bed with us every night around 2:30 to 4. And he goes outside, takes a piss.
At 2:30 or 4 he does?
Every morning. You'll hear our door open, and he's going outside to take a leak. And I finally had to,
proud.
I had to tell him, like, listen, you got to start picking different spots to pee off of the patio, because you're peeing in one spot and it stinks.
So he goes out every morning before he even gets in bed with y'all. He goes and pees that way.
Yeah, you'll hear him unlock the door and outside he goes.
And Lou don't go with him.
Jameson,
I know Lou don't ever go with him. Well, Lou sleeps with
Reese.
That's pretty cool though.
Yep. Because we told him, you're going to pee in our bed when you wake up, so you got to take a leak before you get in bed with us. So he does.
That's the doom buggy. Oldest one's a Cadillac. He's a doom buggy boy. Whew, he's gonna tear up shit.
You'll just see his little old head just bobbing, walking outside, and away he goes. My oldest would never do that because he's afraid of the dark. He would never walk outside on his own. Youngest, he doesn't give a shit. They'll bring me back. I'm good. But no, you're right. Yeah. And my wife and I have had the same conversation about college and trade school. And I mean, and plus, like, if you look at colleges now, it's just an indoctrination of, it's just a political arm anymore.
Yeah. Like my wife, we both make a reasonably decent living. Yeah. But she's like, look at you. You've never been to college. You've never furthered your education. And she's like, you make more than I do. She goes, it drives me nuts. I went to college for 4 years. And
yeah. Well, don't get a liberal arts degree. Get something if you're going to go to college, get something that's going to pay. Right. And that's where people screw up today, is they go for 8 years for some bullshit degree just so they can have a bullshit degree.
In 2035, an electrician and a plumber are going to make somewhere between $150,000 and $250,000 a year, just to be an electrician. Not there's one's going to make a whole lot more than that. It's going to have more guys working for him stuff. But the average electrician is going to make $150,000 to $250,000 a year by 2035. You watch.
Well, plumbers have saved way more lives than doctors ever have. I mean, just clean drinking water alone over the course of time is
right.
So plumbers are way more beneficial to a healthy society than doctors are.
If your shitter's clogged up and that guy says, I get $500 an hour, you may not like it, but you'll pay $500 an hour.
Or if your shitter water is drinking with your drinking water, then pay the man.
Let's be honest, it's going to be a 2-hour minimum no matter what.
That's exactly right.
So you're paying him $1,000 to unclog your toilet.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
We had an old lady in town bitching at City Hall one day about that. The plumber charged her 2 hours a minimum. She goes, I started to find some other stuff for him to do around my house for them 2 hours. So I don't think it works that way.
Let's just change that all around.
Yeah. I want you to paint, then
one's leaking.
You're going to vacuum the living room for me, make me a sandwich. I mean, she thought she owned him for 2 hours. So that's not the way it works. Nothing more cantankerous than an old woman, though.
No.
Well, man, we appreciate.
Yeah, but
Penny pinchers.
damn, they're fun.
We appreciate you being on here. You've been a wonderful guest. We appreciate
Been a
you
lot of
listening to the podcast and being part of our life. And if you ever get down this way, holler at us.
Good luck this you said
Absolutely.
you might be going out this Saturday, so good luck. Good luck on that.
Yeah, I'll send you guys some pictures if we do.
What will it mainly be? What's your duck there right now? Is it like gadwalls and stuff, or do you have some mallards?
I mean, there's some local mallards we'll shoot. Spoonbills,
Oh, God love the
gadwalls.
spoonie.
God bless the spoonie.
God.
Sometimes they save the day.
Sometimes they do, and it's okay when they do.
You know, but I mean, for the most part, you know, it'll be mallards, gadwalls, spoonbills, teal. Thing I'm excited for is crane season's opening up here in a couple weeks.
Fuck them.
Hopefully there'll be some cranes around here. We had a pretty good dove season.
Have you had a lot of success with cranes in the past?
I've hunted them twice and we've killed birds both times.
That's success.
So
That's success.
I feel that that's successful.
Yes.
They're a very finicky bird. When they do it really good. When they don't, they're hard to change their mind. But they are an interesting bird, basically shooting a dinosaur.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, the one time I did it, we set up solely for cranes.
Mm-hmm.
It was in southeastern Colorado. And then the other time we'd been scouting and seen the cranes go over the goose field. And so you just drill through the goose call and here they come. And I mean, it was more of a target of opportunity at that point, but we knew that they'd been trafficking that area. But yeah, cranes are fun. You know, dove season too here is, you know, people think it Colorado and they don't think that it'd be a dove state, but I mean, we do good. And we're damn near to the Kansas border when we're hunting them,
Right.
but, you know, I mean, there'll be 10, 15 of us out there. And this year, I think we shot 149 birds. Opening
Dove
morning.
season is so fun. I mean, it's kind of, you know, it's this carefree atmosphere and a lot of beer drinking, and it's just it's a much different vibe, at least for out here, than waterfowl season is. Like for us, waterfowl season is 7 days a week, and it's a grind every day. Dove season, it's more of a party atmosphere. It's kickoff. It's
Sure.
a kickoff.
And I think it's that way across the country.
Yeah.
I've never met one serious dove hunter in my
No.
life. But
No.
waterfowl wise, yeah, I mean, we're hunting. I mean, we're hunting the weekends, and that's
Yeah.
it. But I mean, we hunt on private ground. We don't hunt in public. Hunting public out here is a good way to get shot in the face. But
I believe that.
other than that, no, I appreciate you guys having me
Absolutely.
on here.
It's been a lot of fun. We've gone almost an hour and a half,
guys-
so it was a good one.
Your
Enjoy.
podcasts are awesome.
Enjoy. What was that?
Your guys' podcasts are awesome.
Thank you very much.
I mean, I think I've listened up till about the last week of podcasts. I'm behind on listening to them, but
It's all right.
you know, I mean, they're just fun to listen
Well,
to.
we really appreciate you listening, and we appreciate you hopping on here and just shooting the shit with us. It's been a lot of fun. And get out there this weekend, go shoot them up, and good luck to you this season. All right, stay safe out there. Okay.
You too,
All
guys.
right.
God bless you and have a great week.
You too. Thanks.
AJ Patterson,
The drug informant for the state of
drug
Colorado.
informant, your union rep, anti-college. Talked about it all, Jeff. That is going to be the case, though. Colleges, and the more that they go down this leftist propaganda, it's going to get worse. They're going to see. And I saw something the other day. It was talking about young people are switching to the conservative party. So I think that is also going to lead to colleges' enrollment declining.
College is way too expensive.
Yes.
Way too expensive.
Well, and now they're saying that the government subsidized whatever they did with student loan. All colleges are going to do. They know that you're going to get so much forgiven, so they're just going to raise their tuition by that amount.
Yeah, college, it's ridiculous. I remember when Payne was at Tarleton and they didn't have enough parking spots. They sold 1,500 parking tickets and they had space for 1,400 cars and stuff. And I asked the lady, I go, well, where do you expect these kids to park at? I mean, you sell 1,500 parking spots and you
There
got
should be 1,500 parking
at
spots.
least. I go, that's crazy. I mean, you don't think about the kids. You know, they give you this big sell when your kids are freshmen at school about how wonderful it is, and we do this, and we do that, and we do this. Trust me, as long as you write them a check each month or each year, they don't give two shits. I mean, there's no customer service there at all. But college has gotten absolutely ridiculous what they charge for school. And then the chances of you getting a degree and being able to pay for your college is really getting hard. It used to not be that hard to do. But you can't graduate and have $150,000 in debt at 23 years old, accumulating interest, and never get that paid off.
And you can't default on it.
No.
It's the only debt that you can have that you cannot declare bankruptcy from.
Yeah, and it's crazy. That's because the politicians and the banks are in business together, and that's why it was written that way. But it is a horrible deal for kids. But I also don't feel sorry for you, so don't go fucking get in debt that way. If you're going to become a teacher and make $35,000 a year, don't expect to be able to pay a $150,000 note and be able to buy anything else.
So
if you're going to medical
Go to a
school,
different
an attorney,
college?
you figure that shit out.
No, but what I'm saying is we need
Yes.
teachers.
Yeah.
So should they not go to SMU
No.
to get a teaching degree?
Not if you want us to fucking pay for it.
I mean, I agree with you, Jeff. I'm
No.
just saying.
Yes, go to a community college. Go to University of Phoenix online or New Hampshire University or whatever it is that you see advertised all the time. Be smart about it. You're setting yourself up for it's like nursing school. If you want to be an RN, go to RN school. I don't understand why you got to go to school at a college for 5 years to become an RN. Just go to RN school.
I think you have to get your basics out of the way.
No, you can go to Vernon. They have a nursing program where you
But I think you have to take regular college classes.
no, if you want to get what's it called? That's the 4-year degree.
Nurse practitioner?
Bachelor's of
Bachelor? Yeah.
Yeah, bachelor's degree. But you can also be a nurse and not have a bachelor's.
I'm not.
No, I know.
I'm going to take your word for it. I don't know.
You can do that. They have
But
a nursing program that takes 2 years to become an RN, or you can go for 4 years and get a bachelor's in nursing. And if you want to become a nurse practitioner and all that, is probably the way to go. But then again, why do you have to learn how to fucking play volleyball and get credit for volleyball and Eastern civilization to become a nurse?
I think you know the answer.
I know, to make money. We all know that shit. You know, Mom took pickleball in college, she said, and bowling.
Yeah.
You know, she brags about her bowling every time we bowl. Well, I did
She is
take
a
it in
good bowler.
college. Yeah, she's great.
But
It's. I took badminton.
see, I missed all that.
Oh, hitting the old shuttlecock.
I missed all that.
But I don't. I mean, I'm telling you right now, same thing I told all you boys. You've got a college degree. You don't use it. I have no problem. We paid for your school. If you're happy with it, I'm good. You did it. Something you could fall back on. Zachary's fixed to take his paramedic license finally. He's been back and forth bouncing. Payne learned a trade in the Army that's going to make him a lot of money in the rest of his life in the private sector. I'm proud of that. But it's the same as going in the military. If you're going to go in the military, don't go to the military and learn how to drive a tank, and that's the only thing you learn how to do.
Right.
Because that's hard to find a job as in the civilian world, to be a sniper or a tank driver. Learn a skill that you can put into something when you get out of the military. And I think that's with all things, and that's with college. Go to college. If you're going to spend $150,000 to get a degree in something, learn how to put someone to sleep, or learn how to cut somebody open and operate on them. Learn how to fuck them over and be a lawyer and become a politician. Do something that you can make a lot of money to pay that for that.
I started watching a show, the Jeffrey Dahmer show, speaking about cutting people open.
We declined on watching that.
You declined?
Yeah.
Why?
Mom says, she goes, I've seen some really sick reviews. I go, well, he was a sick bastard. Is it interesting? Are you glad you watched it?
I've only watched 2 episodes. There's 10 episodes. There's entirely too many episodes. I don't know why Netflix did this. They've been hitting a very, very good stride with limited series, 3 to 4 episodes. I love that.
Leave them wanting more.
Well, just tell me what I need to know, but do it in 4 episodes. I don't want to have to spend 10 hours.
How long was the Charles Manson one?
It was 10 episodes.
That was very good.
Or it was 8 episodes.
But it has a whole lot more to say, though, because there was a lot more stuff going on.
Well, there's a lot of stuff going on in this. I've watched 2 episodes. The first one, there has been no gore in either episode. None. So, like, if y'all were worried about the gross factor, I've not seen it in 2 episodes. The first one, you are uneasy the entire time. The second one, it's more of a background into Jeffrey Dahmer, and the second episode wasn't bad at all. But I really liked the second episode.
Well, I watched a Netflix show yesterday.
But 17, he killed 17 people, and I think it's going to show
Each victim.
Each victim.
Now, When you get through more of them, about 5 or 6, let me know.
Let you know how it
I
is.
can tell you something you do not need
Just
to
tell me.
watch. Do not watch The Munsters.
Not good.
Absolute trash.
What's it on?
Netflix.
Oh, it is.
And it's horrible.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I watched it last night. Me and Michelle watched it, and we was like, I'm watch it, see if the grandkids can watch it. Something we can all watch together.
Probably not.
They could. It's dumb. It's not even the Munsters. The series was not that bad.
Yeah.
But-
Have you watched the Munsters series recently?
I watched it a long time ago when it was on. I mean, it was a cheesy sitcom from the 60s.
And I think it's a cheesy movie from
Rob
2022.
Zombie made it. It's
I know.
horrible. I thought it would be good. It needed more Devil's Rejects in it.
That's on HBO Max.
That's a good series. I like that
Devil's
show.
Rejects, House of a Thousand Corpses. I saw it this morning when I was editing podcast.
I can watch those. Those weren't bad. And his wife's sexy and she's naked.
Is she in this one?
Yeah, she plays
Probably that
whatever
lady.
the Lily.
Elvira?
Lily.
I don't know.
It's not very good.
It's not.
The original one was cheesy, but it was, and that's what I thought. I thought that'd be cute.
I mean,
and cheesy.
Herman Munster's this goofy.
Yeah, and they put the wrong head on him. They were supposed to put this genius guy, and they got his brother who was a comedian, and
Abby Normal.
it's stupid. It's absolutely. I had to turn it off. Dan Reese, it's his fault I watch his shit because he posted up, "Ooh, Rob Zombie made a movie. He never makes a bad movie." So Michelle said, "The Monsters just come out today, or the Munsters." I get in trouble. The Munsters just come out today. Let's watch it.
It's just a movie, isn't it?
about-
Like a standalone movie,
no,
hour and a half. It's
An
a
hour
series.
and a half. No, it's a movie.
Oh,
Turned it on, clicked it on. About 10 minutes later, I looked at her. I go, "This sucks." She goes, "I don't care, whatever you were doing." She was on the phone or doing something. About 5 more minutes, I said, "I just want to see Herman Munster. That's the only thing I want to see. I want to see him." Showed it to him. I turned some bitch off and never turned it on again. It's horrible.
Zach was all excited about it.
It's
when
trash.
They were making it.
Well, I thought it would be good, but it was not. And I didn't realize that Hocus Pocus
2.
2 is coming out. And so is your show
Halloween.
that the end.
Halloween ends. It's going to stream on Peacock. I don't even have to go to the movie theater to watch it. I'm a little bummed about that, but
And the other one is Under Wraps.
yeah, oh yeah.
And that's what Jameson loves that. So Under Wraps 2 comes out too this week.
PG is all this is the Munsters.
Yeah. It's horrible. I mean, absolutely. It's a bust. I don't know why. Now, Hocus Pocus 2, my grandkids love Hocus Pocus and they love Halloween Town. I hope they keep the politics out of it and keep it what it's about. I don't understand these big companies in California. If you know someone that's in the know out there, tell them to make movies like that. They're missing out on a ton of money. Christmas movies, make them family funny movies.
You know what I just realized? And so the new Minion show, we went and saw it in theaters, but it's on Peacock now, and my kids were watching it again. And there's this lady, and she's supposed to be Chinese, but it's going to sound terrible. Her eyes are regular.
So she's not Chinese.
But I just got it the second time that I watched it, because like she does the accent and everything, and I'm like, I think she's supposed to be Chinese. I thought she was like Mexican or something, but her eyes are like normal. So like they don't even make Chinese people that look like Chinese people in these movies anymore. And I get it, like they would dramatize the
I don't get it.
the narrowness of their eyes. They did that a lot. So I mean, I can understand widening them a little bit, but it's unrecognizable. And she's supposed to be this kung fu instructor.
But why? What does it matter if you make a Chinese person look Chinese? Would that bother you?
Feelings. I'm not Chinese.
If they do a deal, made you look too white, would you be upset? No. I don't understand. I can't imagine a Chinese person that gets offended because of their eyes.
And there was another thing, and I'm going to try to find it here, but there was some group that's going crazy about the Dahmer show because his main target was black men.
Okay.
And they're just up in arms that
Is that what he did?
Yes.
Just telling the story.
Right. But they're going crazy. And I guess this show has painted the LGBTQ plus AAA into a corner because
What the hell's AAA?
or plus. I'm sorry.
What is plus?
I don't know.
That's really what they are now?
Yeah. Because they don't know, because he was obviously gay but he was targeting black people, so they're like, we don't know who to feel bad for here, but they're some of these organizations are losing their mind over the Dahmer thing, and I'm gonna try to find it
because the gay they're portraying gay people to be racist.
well, and murderers and everything.
Well,
else,
there's
so
I had a gay guy tell me one time that it's a very
violent, yes, it's
violent
very violent.
relationships.
LGBTQ Dahmer. I'll see if I can find it this way, but I saw it was a tweet or something. Netflix drops tag LGBTQ tag on Jeffrey Dahmer series. So I guess they tagged them or something. I'm not going to be able to find it in any reasonable amount of time. I'm going to have to find it on my own. And
Are we ever going to get a
it.
place in the world where people are going to finally get over all this woke bullshit and realize that we can be who we are and it's okay to be different? You know, that's the thing. They want it to be all inclusive. And well, people are different. The Chinese people have different eyes than we do. There's nothing wrong with that. You know?
Right.
You know, black girls have bigger butts than white girls do. Is that a bad thing?
I'm not going to find this.
I mean, I don't understand where we've gotten to a point that it's okay to be different, you know? Or where it's not okay to be. It's okay to be different, but you can't point out people's obvious differences. You know, that's racist. No, that's the truth, you know?
Yeah, I can't find that original one. But like there was a lady and she wrote like a novel on this issue.
About LGBTQ.
And blacks and how he targeted black people. And
That's crazy.
This Jeffrey Dahmer series on Netflix is doubling as a trauma series for the black community and especially black queer community. I like the truth to be told, but realize this isn't just about Dahmer. This is about how black community was targeted, attacked, and ignored. Ryan Murphy has a history of disrespecting the LGBTQ. It was irresponsible to allow him to produce Dahmer. But, I mean, I don't know. It's an interesting story, though. But, yeah, I would recommend it. After watching 2 episodes, I would say check out Dahmer. It has not. I have also seen what Mom saw. A lot of people that I know have said that it was very grotesque and they had to turn it off. Through 2 episodes, it's not that way. So unless it gets just a whole lot worse, I think I'll make it through it. So anyway, but it's Halloween. It's Halloween time, so all time for all sorts of good shows. So go check out Dahmer if you're not squeamish. We're gonna get out of here. We appreciate everybody listening. And everybody have a great weekend. If you're getting out there, stay safe and post pictures into the Big Honker podcast group because we like to see it. And go check out Dirty Duck Coffee because they've got a promo code. Big Honker saves you 15% at checkout for Dirty Duck Coffee. Pacific Calls also has a promo code BHP25, 25% off anything that you want at Pacific Custom Calls. We are also brought to you by Gundog Outdoors, Shin Gear Waders, Lucky Duck, Dive Bomb Industries, Boss Shot Shells, Looking Glass Podcast, Alpha Outdoor Specialties, Hunt Proof App, Bangtail Whiskey, Stanfield Hunting Outfitters, Ducks Unlimited, and Double T British Kennels.